Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran. Sitting to the right and left of me is River Brown, John Carlos Barra, and today we got a special guest, Jack Barteck. He's a sports director at Montclair State University, and today we got a really special show. So first of all, how's everybody doing today?
Why'd you just say my government?
No, people have to recognize you by your name.
Yeah. I'm chilling, bobbing.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm glad to be here. Excited.
Yo, remember when all them Raptors fans was bashing me for saying they're not going to go that far?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That was okay. So look, on this episode, we got a lot of topics. So first, we're going to talk about the Houston Rockets and their future. We're going to talk about the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, Pascal Siakam ceiling as a player, the Brooklyn Nets, our AFC East predictions, and lastly, we will be picking our picks for NFL Week 2. So, okay, starting things off, is it time for the Rockets to blow it up?
You have to start this one off.
No. I want to know what you have to say first. Then yeah.
You want to know why I always got to go first? Yeah, I think it's over. Like it's time to blow it up. I think James Harden should stay. Definitely. I think James Harden is the corner piece. He should definitely stay by all means. I think you're going to always have a chance to make the playoffs with James Harden as your best player. Always. I think the guy that needs to go is that second guy, Westbrook. And damn near the whole roster. Let me explain. Small ball, it works.
No, it does.
It works. Golden State did it. San Antonio did it for a time. It works. Now you have to have the right pieces and the right players in the system for it to work. You have to have guys who can shoot, guys who can defend at a high level, and the Rockets just don't have that. You got guys like Ben McLemore, Austin Rivers, Eric Gordon. He's been struggling for a little while, in and out of injuries. And then you have the one guy who just really can't shoot, which is Westbrook. So small ball can work. You got the guy like PJ Tucker, who's like a Draymond, not as versatile, but defensively he's like a Draymond. But you don't have guys who can move without the ball, which also helps small ball, because if guys are moving without the ball, everybody touches the ball and then everybody gets shot. If you have one guy who's just controlling the pace of the game all game, every game, and then you got another guy who IQ is extremely low, I don't think it's going to work. So I think if to not necessarily blow it up like boom, but get Harden another, get Harden another guy, try to get somebody for Westbrook, maybe a couple shooters, a couple 3-and-D guys that, a little bit better Robert Covington type players like that, but just a little bit better. And then I think they'll be okay.
At this point, who's going to trade for Westbrook, though?
You'll be surprised.
Let's be real.
I think the Knicks would. To be honest.
But wait, who are you giving up, though?
Picks.
They
have to.
No,
don't have anybody.
If you think about it, though, if
That's all they
if the Knicks were to trade the 8th pick, the Rockets could probably flip that. Like, Daryl Morey could probably do something with that pick.
What gives you the confidence Daryl Morey could flip that?
Because I think he's made like 70 trades since being the manager at Houston.
And none of them worked.
That would be such a mistake for the Knicks if they traded for Westbrook. But
yeah,
that would be on par for what the Knicks have done the past.
You would just be watching him throw up a bunch of stats and lose.
For real.
No, don't cap.
Look, the Rockets lost their opportunity in 2018, bro. They lost their
100% right.
Oh, and Chris Paul got hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was it.
Their only shot.
Oh, and just to tell you, Jack, when you talk to the mic, you just you have to be like really in front of it. Yeah.
Got you.
So it could pick up your voice. So, okay, they lost their opportunity in 2018. It's just, you have Chris Paul, you have Capella, you got these guys. You take Golden State to 7, probably the best team that's ever been assembled in league history, right?
Yeah, the best team that's ever been assembled.
Okay.
Yeah.
You take them to 7. And then the next year you lose to basically the same team. I know Durant, he was out for like a game and a quarter, I think, at most. He was there for 4 games. And then you decide to blow it up. Like, what's the reasoning behind that? The year that Golden State is not Golden State, you decide to break up the team.
You like the Capella trade, though.
No, the Chris Paul trade.
Oh, you're talking about Chris Paul. Okay.
And I think that Chris Paul would have fit better with this Rockets lineup than Russell Westbrook did because,
sure.
Like we're saying, Russell Westbrook can't shoot the ball. He's a low IQ guy. He's a high volume scorer, and you have your really high volume scorer in James Harden. You don't need another one of those. And I think that Chris Paul was a great distributor for this team. And I don't think that the small ball idea should die. I really like the 5-out style, and I think it could be successful. But I think they might have been better off not having PJ Tucker playing center. Like if you could have slid him over to the 4 and gotten like a Miles Turner who can shoot but gives you some size down low. I think that might have been a little bit more successful, but I agree. Westbrook's got to go. The biggest problem that he causes, and it goes beyond the court, is you're paying 2 guys $40 million a year. So how are you building a roster around that? I just don't think that's feasible, and I think it will be very tough to trade Westbrook. But like you said, someone will take him. Hopefully for your sake, not the Knicks. But someone will take him, and I think that's the first move. And I don't think anything else major has to happen. I like the core that they have. Maybe an upgrade to Eric Gordon because he was a little bit inconsistent. But I think that James Harden can be the best player on a championship team.
I do too.
Of course you do.
I really do too.
And that's something I'll allude to a bunch when I'm talking basketball. Is like I think there's maybe 8 or so guys in the league that can be the best player on a championship team. And when you have one of those guys, I think it's a huge mistake to trade him.
Yeah, but it's just the Rockets roster is so stuck. You're like you said, you're paying Westbrook and Harden $40 million.
You pay Eric Gordon about 18.
Yep. Covington is getting 12. Tucker's getting 8, which is good for his contract, but they're I think negative 15 in cap space.
You gotta make some moves.
What are you gonna do with that? You really can't do much. It's stuck. Like I wish they would trade Harden for Harden's stake.
Well, you trade Westbrook, you get about 20 mil in cap space if you're in the negative 15. So you'll get about 20 mil. That's enough to get somebody else. But at the same time, I don't know the free agency. What's the free agency is looking like, and I don't know how many picks they have. But it's gonna be tough to definitely turn it around this fast because they're always gonna be contenders. That they're always gonna be contenders to make the playoffs. They're gonna be, but are they gonna be contenders enough to get over the hump? Because Golden State is coming back next year, fully healthy. So that's another team you got to worry about. Then you got to worry about.
Though.
Well, you got to worry about Luka and Porzingis getting better. You got to worry about the Lakers. You're gonna have to worry about the Clippers. You got to worry about Denver getting better because they're still young.
Did you just say the Pelicans?
Yeah, he did say that. I didn't say it. He said that. But
why not?
It's just like everybody's getting better, and I feel like the Rockets are just going to stay stuck. And
how old James Harden?
31.
31, yeah.
There's nothing worse than just staying in the same spot because they're not going to win anything. In my opinion, they're not going to win with this core because everybody else is getting better. The Lakers are still going to be there. The Clippers are still going to be
Denver.
there. And you're not going to win, and you're not going to be bad enough to rebuild, so you're just wasting James Harden at this point is what you're doing.
Yeah, and you know what's the thing, too, is that I think there was a report that came out about Russell Westbrook in Game 6 of Oklahoma City, that series, that he would abandon the offense for stretches. And
I read that.
Yeah, and that's probably why Mike D'Antoni's like, I'm not returning to Houston, because he's the one that announced that he's not returning to Houston.
That's another thing we have to wonder. Who's going to be your coach now?
Yeah.
For Houston.
And I do think that can make a difference because I have questioned D'Antoni's system in the playoffs for a while now, and I do wonder if you bring somebody else in, even with this group, although I still don't think this group can win one together, I do question if it would make a difference.
I think so too, because Mike D'Antoni's system was too stagnant, and it was just too it was easy to defend come playoff time because it's the same thing over and over and over.
But he just didn't make any adjustments. I mean, you won pretty well in Game 1 versus the Lakers. Then every other game you didn't adjust.
Yeah,
it was the same thing.
Mike, legendary coaches, you see why they're legendary. They make the adjustments in series and all that. And D'Antoni, he wins one game. And he's just like, all right, I'm going to ride this for the rest of the series. And even if you're losing, I'm still going to ride this because we just won a game. And it's like, come on, bro, you can't do that.
You know what people aren't talking about enough? Trading Capella was more to fit Westbrook than it was to fit Harden. Because now Capella was huge. When Harden would go into the lane, he would do that little floater. You wouldn't know if he was lobbing it or doing a floater. And now they don't have that. With Chris Paul, you were able to. But with Capella, you can't have two non-shooters, especially in that system.
I think Capella would have been good for this series in particular and like guarding Anthony Davis and getting rebounds. I think that would have helped you guys big. And you could have had PJ at the 4 where he could have guarded LeBron instead of putting one of them skinny wings you got on LeBron. So I think that would have definitely helped you guys at this moment.
I thought the worst part about losing that series to the Lakers is that they didn't beat you guys the way I thought they were going to. I thought it was just going to be domination down low. I thought they were going to use JaVale, Dwight Howard, and Anthony Davis.
I don't think Dwight played, right?
Yeah, no, Dwight didn't play a single game in the series.
Yeah, every
and
game,
JaVale got sat after game 2. So like
they went small against you guys.
Yeah, the fact that the Rockets got beat with their own small ball system made it even worse in my opinion. and I'm not trying.
But they put AD at the 5.
Yeah, which he is super against, but it ended up being their best lineup.
Each game, McGee and Howard's minutes went down. The last game, they played 0 minutes the entire game.
I'm assuming LeBron played the 4 and just brought the ball up?
Nah, Markieff Morris played the 4.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not even... What I hated the most about watching this series is I couldn't stand watching Westbrook play. Each time he would go into the lane, LeBron would block him.
No, his IQ is really, really low.
I just didn't get it. There would be times where he was on a fast break, and there was one play I remember in particular where Austin Rivers was wide open, and Westbrook just completely baffles on the play. He passes it so badly.
That's a form of selfishness to the team.
And I forget which game it is, but he killed you guys late with a turnover too in one game.
That was game 2 when he had like 5 turnovers in the fourth.
When he threw it behind him.
Yeah.
And then when he did the air ball,
they didn't even get a last shot because of his turnover.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I don't know.
Can't shoot. The game's getting too skilled for a player like him.
It is.
The thing is, I don't know what's wrong with him because he had the mid range a couple years ago.
What's wrong with him is he can't shoot. They were
He's
leaving
degressed.
him. Yeah.
He's
declining.
Yeah.
That's the
his
thing.
free
That's what I'm
throws
saying.
too. His
Oh
free
no,
throws
his
used to be like
splits.
80%.
I was going to tell you his splits, but I didn't even want to say it.
You don't embarrass him.
Yeah, it's like really embarrassing. He shot 53% at the free throw line.
So
just think about this.
I'm telling you, the Knicks would do it.
Look, just think about this.
Rockets are
Westbrook
stuck.
this year with the Rockets had his most efficient year of his career.
Yeah.
And he shot 47% from the field
Before the bubble.
and
right?
like 26% from 3. And this was his most efficient year ever.
27, and 7.
And that's crazy because he does a lot of his scoring in the paint too. So
Yeah.
to be shooting that low efficiency,
the thing is,
with most of your points coming in the paint, that's really
and he
not
works
good.
on his 3, like in the summer. Like he works on it relentlessly. Like that's the
not a
problem.
shooter.
Yeah, he just can't shoot.
I said it before this series. I said, well, after game 1, I said it that this series is going to come down to Rondo and Westbrook, and Rondo just outplayed him. People think of Rondo as this.
playoff Rondo.
Oh,
People
my
think
God.
of Rondo as this bad shooter, but Rondo for his career is like 33%. He can hit it if he's open. If he's open as Westbrook. Westbrook was like 10 or 15 feet
Westbrook
open.
is open. They give him the Ben Simmons treatment. He literally is wide
keep
open.
shooting.
They
give-
throw AD on him
honestly,
and they dare him to come to the
They
paint.
give Westbrook even worse treatment. I think
No.
AD was
I don't think
guarding
Ben
him.
Simmons.
Rudy Gobert.
Ben Simmons.
Rudy Gobert.
Well, because they're daring
guards
Westbrook to go to the paint. Because that's his thing.
LeBron literally laughed in his face. He said, "You got to double me," and LeBron literally laughed.
They
in
were
his
down
face.
20 points. I don't know why he said that. It's ridiculous.
Horrible.
And you brought up a good point about Rondo because he was really good in this series, and I think what
Playoff
he
Rondo.
brings to the Lakers is so important.
That's right.
Because
You think he can be that third super star that they need? Not super, pardon me.
I don't know.
Superstar.
It's not even that he's a star. It's just what he brings to them, especially with the loss of Avery
Tangibles.
Bradley. You know, and he brings an actual ball handler that can let LeBron play off the ball a little bit because
He's a really good defender, too.
yeah,
When he wants to be.
People forget that
he
the
does.
series that Dame got swept by the Pelicans, it wasn't just Drew. It was Rondo.
yeah,
there.
No,
Rondo,
Rondo
yeah.
was guarding
Rondo was-
CJ. He was playing phenomenal.
Yeah, they were locking them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he wants to play D, he can play D. He just has to have
Regular
his mindset.
season Rondo,
He's whack.
And,
back.
and
When
you
it
look
comes
at that
to playoffs.
series, KCP played really well in a couple
is
games.
embarrassing.
If the
Shooting his
Lakers
threes.
could get their guards playing consistently well together, and I'm not talking about like 20 points a night. I'm talking hit 40% of your shots. No one in the league can touch them. But the
Yeah.
question is, on any given night, 2 of those guards are not going to show up. It's like playing the lottery. So it just was.
Danny
yeah.
Green showed up too.
It
That
went
last
against the
finals.
Rockets.
Yeah, I
that
know.
It just so happened that on 3 different occasions, pretty much all the guards did show up.
Which is not even your fault.
Yeah.
Because Danny Green has been horrible. So that's
Exactly.
like, it wasn't even like, it was just like,
KCP too.
yeah, so it was just like a damn
And Caruso hit a dagger
Caruso's
3.
really
like in
good.
one of the
night. Yeah,
games.
it was just like one of those
Caruso's
nights where
not
you just
bad,
like,
man.
damn, this
I
life.
like Caruso too. He gets
really
like
good.
memed a lot, but
he's actually a really
yeah,
good
he's a
player.
good
He does
player.
get memed.
He's a good
he
all-around
gets
player.
memed, but he's not a joke. He's a real legit
No, he's a
player.
good player. He's really good defensively, too.
Boom.
All right, we talking about the Lakers. So I got a question for you guys. Well, by this time, I thought that the Clippers would have eliminated the Nuggets by now.
That's crazy.
But who has more to gain from going to the finals and eventually winning, Kawhi or LeBron?
Kawhi.
I think both.
I think Kawhi.
I can see the both answers.
In a sense where if you're a LeBron fan, right, and you still want him to build on that legacy and be the guy who separates himself from everybody like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, then this would obviously benefit him no matter what. And obviously for Kawhi, the Kawhi fans who think he's already a top 15, top 20 player, this will also benefit him because this will put him in three titles with three different teams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this will put him in a different spectrum than everybody else. So I think it would probably end up, but it will also kill both of them if they lose.
Yeah,
or realistically, if LeBron goes to the finals and AD wins Finals MVP, or same with Paul George, people will also look at it. Well, you were the second best player in the finals, so they will also try to downgrade that.
I don't think there's a shot of that happening, though.
AD winning Finals MVP, I think it's
LeBron?
a shot.
Nah,
it depends who they play.
I don't think
Not
PG.
over LeBron.
I don't think. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is just narrative based.
Yeah.
Like if they get there, LeBron's going to win.
LeBron's
going
gonna
to
win.
Probably.
And in PG, I just don't ever see him winning over Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, he's not going to win it over Kawhi.
I think that Kawhi has more to gain from the sense that he's only 27 years old.
Yeah,
he's just hitting his legitimate prime, and if he wins the championship, he would have brought the first championship to Toronto and the first championship to the Clippers.
Yeah,
like LeBron brought the first championship to Cleveland, but I think bringing the championship to the Clippers versus the Lakers, obviously the Lakers have more history, but the Clippers, it'll be something historical, and Kawhi would really get praise for that. He might have a statue in Toronto and Los Angeles.
Well
if he
deserved.
does that.
Yeah,
it would be well deserved.
I'm just thinking of it this way. Like, first of all, Kawhi needs to take the Clippers past Game 7. If they lose to the Nuggets,
done. Like they're done in my eyes. I don't want to see. They're done.
Like, and I said this about the Lakers and the Clippers. If whoever loses to each other out of those two teams, you can't really be mad about it.
Yeah.
They're two great teams. So for either team to lose to each other, it's just losing to a great team. But Kawhi needs to get past the Nuggets first of all. But I think Kawhi can gain more in a sense of he can jump a lot higher with a championship this year. Like if he wins a championship, there will be people having him in the top 5 conversation, which I think is a little bit crazy.
Oh, that's ludicrous.
Wait, top 5 all time?
No, people will throw him in the top 5 all time.
I have heard people saying
it's ludicrous, but it's...
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
I don't even have him in my top 15.
I think he's around. I think he's
like top
15.
20. Because I have KD and Steph in my top 15, so he's probably behind them.
That's social media for you, though.
So he'll be in my top 20.
And I think that LeBron can gain more in a sense like of where he's at. Like if he wins a ring this year, that puts him at 4-6.
Yeah,
10 finals appearances. Just building that resume. He's coming up on the all-time scoring record. If he goes 4-6 in championships, and just say he finishes there, and gets the scoring the all-time scoring title, that's a really hard resume to argue with. Even you have the 6-0 from Jordan, and of course that will always be the talking point when you get in the GOAT argument. But it's really hard to argue with 4 championships, 10 appeares, and an all-time leading scorer.
And probably top 5 in assists too.
Yeah, exactly.
Top 5 assists.
And he could probably 2P too. There's the
never
same
know.
roster next year.
If he 2P's, it's crazy.
That's the thing you got to think about with the Clippers too. Though they can probably 2P too. So if
I
either
don't
one,
think not as much as the Lakers. Though. I think Lakers have a better chance.
You're a hater.
No, seriously.
No, you're really
look at the Clippers' salary cap table for next year. Marcus Morris is going to be gone. Reggie Jackson.
You know what's crazy?
Harold too.
And not a lot of people are talking about.
They paid Harold.
Nah,
they didn't pay him yet. Well, they have enough to pay 2 of them. 2 out of the 3.
I don't know if Paul George and Kawhi are getting maxes. They'll probably have to go over the luxury tax, which they probably will.
They can go over the luxury tax.
Steve Ballmer would actually pay any amount of money.
Yeah, he's different. He'll drop that bag.
Mind.
Yeah, he'll probably do it.
I don't know because. Like, if you guys have been watching the Nuggets series, Montrezl Harrell and Lou Will haven't been.
They're struggling.
Yeah, they're playing
Paul
really
George
bad.
Inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get from him every night.
I don't know.
It's bad for Lou Will if you really check this. That's
he's playing horrible. Montrezl Harrell. I don't know if you would pay him. Honestly,
the same.
On paper, the Clippers, in my opinion, have the best roster in the NBA.
There's no way they should have not swept the Nuggets by now.
They blew both these games themselves. They're doing it to themselves.
And they not only did it in this series, they did it in the Mavericks series, and we saw it from them in the regular season. Granted, they had health issues. This has been a consistent issue with this team.
They get up.
And you can't do that against... I like the Nuggets, but the Nuggets are not a great team, and neither were the Mavericks. You cannot do that against the Lakers and expect to win that series. You need to capitalize on every opportunity to win a game in a series like that.
If Doc Rivers loses this series, he'd blow a 3-1 lead on the Clippers versus the Rockets.
Chris Paul in them?
Yeah. the year that Josh Smith went crazy in Game 6.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. That was hilarious.
And when he was a coach for the Magic and he had Tracy McGrady, they were up 3-1 and they lost too.
Yeah.
And he blew that 3-2 to LeBron in Boston, which
first year in Miami.
He also
right?
He blew that 3-2 to Orlando.
Yeah, you're right.
He blew the 3-2 to Orlando when they went to the finals.
Did you hear the clip of Phil Jackson talking about?
He said they're gonna blow. Doc Rivers teams blow leads.
Yeah,
because they do.
Yeah, he was like, they're losers. This is what they do.
Wow, that was
and I like Doc. Like
Doc's a great coach.
I think he's a great coach, but it makes me start to wonder: is he really as great of a coach as we think he is?
Teams get too complacent when they get up.
I started wondering
that's a great word.
His rotations, when they're up, are very, very bad. If anybody ever noticed, he takes Kawhi out in bad moments, and he takes Paul George out in bad. If you're up 16 and putting Reggie Jackson and Pat Beverly in at the same time with Lou Williams, that doesn't even make sense in nobody's mind. Mind you, with JaMychal Green and Montrezl Harrell, that is the worst 5 lineup I've ever heard in my life. What makes you think they're going to contain the lead against the Joker, Jamal Murray, and that's not going to work ever.
I thought that way about Doc when he didn't win a championship with the Clippers with Chris Paul and Blake. Because a championship maybe was a little bit too much, but at least the Western Conference Finals.
The second round.
They should have went at least twice to the WCF. At least that was a great team, a very great team. They had a bench, they had a starting 5,
and
they had a leader.
What I don't agree with is that if the Clippers do end up losing, people are going to start talking about Kawhi and really, bashing him, which is he doesn't deserve it because he's leading them in points, assists, rebounds, blocks, and steals. The same thing that we praise LeBron for doing when he loses and he leads his teams. This is what Kawhi is doing right now, and he's efficient as well.
But LeBron has never blew a 3-1 lead though.
No, I know he's never blew a 3-1 lead, but I don't
hasn't.
like the leads that when the Nuggets come back, it's never when
It's never when Kawhi. That's what I'm saying. It's never when Kawhi is in the game.
Yeah.
Kawhi comes in the game when they're down and he has to go do all this extra stuff that he
right
didn't
when the
need to
Nuggets
do.
are in rhythm too.
Yeah,
And Paul George has not been good. He has had good spots in series, but he has not been consistently good, and that's a problem. And it kind of is like we talk about LeBron. He's had to carry his whole career, and now I feel like we're seeing Kawhi having to carry a lot of the weight in Los Angeles.
I don't know. I wouldn't go there.
He hasn't carried his whole career.
This team is
It's a really good team, but I just feel like everybody except Kawhi is underperforming right now.
Everybody's just playing bad at the worst time.
If Paul George doesn't show up against LA, they don't stand a chance.
It's over.
No,
at all.
They're going to win.
At all. Like, not even remote. It probably might
and
end
Kawhi
in 5.
had a bad game this series. I forgot what
last game
It was a
was
game
bad.
where PG had a good game.
Nah,
That's
I
the
think it was
problem.
Last game
8 and
was
18.
Last 8.
It was 2 games ago. 2 games ago.
Nah,
He didn't
game
have
For
a
18 isn't
Was
that
it
good either, though.
I think it might have been game 3.
I think it was
that he
game
had a bad
4.
game.
Another thing that Kawhi and LeBron have in common is even when they have poor shooting games, they impact the game in so many other ways that it's like they could shoot 25% and they'll still give you probably 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and
Great
play
defense.
solid
Like,
defense.
Kawhi's a dog.
Kawhi's a beast.
So who do you think wins game 7?
You asking me?
Asking everybody.
I'm Clippers.
I gotta say the Clippers. I don't want to believe that there's a world
I feel like if they don't
where
blow
a team
them out,
this good can blow
Denver's
it.
gonna win. If the Clippers don't come out and just blow them out the gym like they should be doing, then Denver is gonna make it close and they're gonna win.
Me personally, I'm gonna pick the Clippers, not because I do think they're gonna win, but because I kind of want to jinx them. So I don't want to say Denver.
That is ridiculous.
I don't want to say Denver and then they lose. So
Wow.
I'll go with the Clippers, but the reason I'll go with the Clippers is because they have shown that they can dominate this team. They were up 15 and what? They
19.
were up 16 and 19. So you've shown you can dominate this team.
They were up 3-1.
So I think in Game 7 they just dominate them, and it's not even close. And that might be,
But then they might blow that lead.
doing my little evil laugh behind the scenes, saying that they're just going to dominate them.
I could tell you who the 15 biggest Nuggets fans in the country will be tomorrow night. The Lakers roster and coaching staff.
Yeah.
Could you imagine them playing?
That would be like when we were robbed of LeBron and Kobe.
It'd be over.
Yeah,
It'd be
exactly.
over
For
in
some
5.
reason, I thought you were going to say Shannon Sharp.
Yo, I thought he was going to
He's
say
gonna be one of them
that.
too.
media
Oh, that's
members.
16. That's
He's
16.
gonna be one of them
That's
too.
16. No,
he'll be
$17.
on the
Nick Wright,
bandwagon.
Shannon Sharp, and then the Lakers.
Yeah.
Easily.
Because they
Wright
would
can't
stand
wait.
no
Oh
chance
my
against
God.
the Lakers. Coming off 2 7-game series against
they're
teams,
gonna get smoked.
You know,
5.
the Clippers are clearly a better
Yeah,
team than the
5.
Nuggets. I think it's
They're
fair
gonna
to
get
say
smoked
that.
in 5.
So if they would have to go 7 games, 2 series in a row, they would stand no chance. But I think we got to give a lot of credit to the Nuggets for even getting to this point because I thought they were going to get out of the first round much easier. But then I thought they said no chance in this.
I think we all thought it was like 5 Denver.
He was calling for the firing of Mike Malone right away after that.
And now it's Game 7 with the Clippers.
The Clippers, I mean.
But honestly, it's really, they've started winning not even because they've made adjustments. It's just that they've started hitting shots and gotten hot. But Mike Malone really hasn't made anything different. He hasn't.
I think he's starting to put the ball in everybody else's hands other than running that same pick and roll that they run every single play. I think you're starting to trust your teammates more, and that's going to work out for them in the long run.
Jokic has been dominating this postseason.
Michael Porter
Jr. gives you a thumbs up after that statement, considering his press conference the other
next year is going to be a really, really, really good year for Denver. Yeah. Not this year, though. They're going to lose tomorrow.
So, look, Toronto and Boston, their series ended. So, look.
You look sad.
Are you more impressed with Boston or disappointed with Toronto?
Why do you always ask me first?
I don't know. I'm just asking everybody. But I could go first. I think I'm more disappointed in Toronto. I think the series was phenomenal. They both played a great chess match. But when Siakam struggles this much, how can you not be disappointed with Toronto? And I think Fred VanVleet, they struggle too. Like, he had some good games.
I feel like you're discrediting the Boston's defense.
Yeah, the defense.
No, their defense was phenomenal.
Which I told you was going to happen.
Let's be honest. Did they play great defense on Marc Gasol, or was Marc Gasol just missing every single 3-point?
Not Marc Gasol. He was just missing.
But let me give you these numbers. Marc Gasol shot 13% from 3, Siakam 13%, VanVleet 32%, and Lowry 31%. These are all players that shoot like 34% and above. And they were so below their averages.
Siakam has been horrible all bubble, though.
He has been horrible.
So to blame that on just that series when he's been horrible the whole bubble.
And there were stretches in the Toronto, in Game 7 specifically, there were stretches where Toronto just couldn't score. Their defense was great against Boston, but they just couldn't score down the stretch. And a last play, Fred VanVleet going one-on-one with Grant Williams.
A horrible play.
Where was the play design for that? There was just ISO. Honestly, I love Fred VanVleet, but that's the last person I'm letting take a last shot going one-on-one ISO. He got no separation on that shot, like at all.
Now, it was kind of questionable a couple of times where Nick Nurse gave the ball to when he gave it to Norman Powell.
I was so confused.
I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with the Fred VanVleet.
But then again, when your star player isn't hitting,
I mean,
and that is going to kind of lead me into my answer where
he didn't even dominate the Nets. He should
have
dominated the Nets.
You're right.
I think, they don't have any big.
I think he's given us. I think he's given us kind of a taste of what we see in Giannis.
You know what's a crazy stat?
What?
He shot 18% from the three-point line against Boston. That's the worst in NBA history.
I was just about to tell you the same stat.
Pascal, 18.9% against the Celtics, and
he went 4 of 32.
Overall, he was the second worst 3-point percentage in playoff history. So he just wasn't really finding his rhythm. I told you guys. I mean, he doesn't have much of a moveset. He doesn't have an arsenal. He doesn't put his back to the basket.
It's like your boy.
Giannis, yeah.
It's like your boy.
You can't really shoot him. You'd rather Pascal shoot. I told you guys this a couple episodes ago. You'd rather him shoot. He's not an elite shooter. Like I don't know. It's just.
I mean, look, when a guy is shooting 35% from the 3, I wouldn't just let him shoot. Maybe with the bubble numbers, I would.
His bread and butter's inside. I mean, Boston had really good defenders to match him. Jaylen Brown did a really good job on him. It was overall a bad series for Pascal. I mean.
It's hard for me to be disappointed with the Raptors because they over exceeded my expectations. I did not think they were going to be this good just because I didn't think that Pascal Siakam could be that guy, and he was all regular season long.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he showed star potential all season long, and then in the bubble he was just terrible. So that hurt them, which was disappointing because you look at that Celtics series, and they were right there. They realistically should have won that series.
Realistically, they should have got swept. Realistically, they should have got swept.
Yes.
Wait, who should have got swept? Toronto?
Yes, they should have got swept.
That game
if
winner
OG
changed
Anunoby doesn't hit
that game winner changed everything.
But
yeah, that was a big shot.
Yeah, in a sense that they were in every game, and if you have a player like Siakam playing at the level he can, you should have won that series.
Yeah. And they didn't even come ready for game 1. They got blown out.
Exactly.
Game 1 was bad.
I was watching this Bob Myers video yesterday, and he made a great point. The regular season and the playoffs is literally 2 different type of basketball.
Yeah.
And Siakam just showed us he's not ready to be the man Come playoff time.
Even as a sidekick, he had some questionable series last year. Remember against Milwaukee?
And I told
Philly,
you guys that wing tandem was going to give Van Vliet and Siakam trouble because they can play D and they can score. I told you that. But you was not trying to listen to
Marcus
me.
Hold up. Hounding.
You did say it. I'm not going to lie. You did say that, and you picked Boston to win. But when you made your prediction, you sounded like it was going to be a clean sweep, and Toronto didn't have a chance. It went to 7 games.
I may have said that. That sounded like it was going to be a clean sweep. But I predicted 6. I was wrong. It was 7. Okay.
You had Toronto second round, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, no. I had Celtics. I had Toronto going to.
No, but you had
just like he said. I didn't believe in Toronto. He knows this. I didn't believe in Toronto all year.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, okay, yeah, they're going to win this many games. The regular season, Toronto's a regular season team. They're going to win this many games. Mm-hmm. They're a good team. But come playoff time, I don't expect them to go to the finals or even go to the ECF. I expect them to lose to one of the big heavy hitters. I had either the Bucks beating them or the Celtics beating them, and the Celtics beat them.
That's 7.
Yeah, that's.
I expected them to make the conference finals, and they were a basket away from doing it. It was right there. But do you guys think that Pascal Siakam could be a franchise player?
No.
It depends.
Nah.
What's a franchise player? A player that can just consistently get you to the playoffs or win a championship for you?
You know what concerns me?
His lack of skill.
I think it could be both. It could be both,
bro.
I think a franchise player is like you could be either one or the second best player on the championship team.
I mean, yeah,
he could be more second best player.
You've seen he's more suited for a
he can't be
sidekick
the
role.
one.
No, he can't be the one.
He's proven he can be number 2.
Of course. He's a good
consistently though, because Kyle Lowry showed us signs of being number 2 last year too. So,
to be honest, I know Siakam scored more than Lowry, but I think Lowry was that number 2 last year. Because you could say Siakam was number 1 in terms of points this year, but I think Lowry led that team all year.
And Lowry was a leader, at least in the playoffs this season. But you sent me the topics the other night, and I was looking at them, and I was like, Pascal Siakam. I really like him. Mm-hmm. And what I thought, the first thought that came to my head was he reminds me of a young Giannis. Like when Giannis was younger and you saw the potential. And then I looked, he's 26 and Giannis is 25. So it's like
Giannis is way better than
he doesn't have that room to grow. He's got to really mature quickly and grow that outside game, right, especially in a league that is so perimeter centric. I don't know if he can get much better than what he is right now. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he'll ever be able to be the best player on a championship team. But again, I think that list is like 8 guys, so I think that's a little bit unfair to judge him on. I think he can definitely be the second best player on a championship team. But
done it already.
Even then, it's stretching though, because I don't think I look at Siakam and he doesn't scream to me top 10, top 15 in the league. No, he doesn't scream. No. So I don't like. It's hard to judge him because like I said, he's 26 already, and I feel like his position is kind of weird too in a sense. He's too skinny to be down low, but he's too tall to really be at the top. So he's kind of like in between.
Hybrid.
Yeah, so it's like.
And his handle is pretty shaky too. I think his problem is that most of his points, his 23 that he averaged in the regular season, came off of fast breaks a lot, most of the time, right? And then you go into the playoffs, you play more in a half-court system, and now you can't really create your own shot. Mm-hmm. Like, that's his problem. He doesn't have good shot creation, and Toronto making him the primary scorer kind of messed him up because he was still playing elite defensively. He was playing great defense.
Oh, yeah, he just couldn't get it going.
So you get to a point where your defensive performance is still the same. You're still really good, but your offense drops down so much because you're asked to do so much on the other end. Whereas last year, Kawhi took the whole burden.
And that's the thing for a wing, because as a wing, you have to learn how to be that versatile. Like you see Paul George, you see Jason Tatum, you see Kawhi. They're versatile at all 3 levels. Siakam, he's a wing, but he lacks the 3 levels scoring. Like you say, he shot 35%, but it's not like I'm coming down, hit you with a few of these, and then I'm going to pull it, and it's going to go in. No. And he scores mainly off fast break points. So he has to go into the offseason. He has to work on his game, work on his half-court game, and see, because they're probably going to bring back the same core group of guys next year.
Yeah, re-sign Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, no, not Kyle. I thought it was Van Vliet.
I thought Kyle was on a 1-year deal.
Van Vliet has to be re-signed.
Yeah, they definitely had to bring back Van Vliet.
Ibaka, and somebody, I think Gasol. I think those are the 3 guys. But yeah, you run it back with the core group of guys. See who comes back better, because you still got Kyle Lowry, who's going to be a dog next year. He's still going to be that little pit bull, the leader. You still got VanVleet. You got Norman, whatever his name is.
Norman Powell.
Norman Powell.
He's
Terrence
good.
Davis isn't bad. He's going to be
right,
there.
solid.
I think he barely played this series.
I don't
didn't see
know
him much
why.
on the court.
Ananobi took a huge step this
He's
year
good.
too.
Yeah,
He's only, what is he, like 22, 23? He's another
young.
young
I think
guy.
he has potential to be better than Siakam long term because he's only 21.
He's
or
another
22.
guy. Their wings are shaky when it comes to skill. Their wings are very. That's the thing. Celtics, their wings are just more skilled than Toronto's
Yeah,
wings.
it's true.
So when it came down to the fourth quarter, Jaylen Brown and Tatum are going to get their shots. It's just going to be if they make it or not. Kemba's going to get his shot. VanVleet looked like he couldn't really get the separation when he couldn't really get his spots. Siakam, we already know he couldn't get to his spots because Tice was standing down there, and you got to get past Jaylen Brown first, who's no slouch defensively.
Yeah.
So it was really just Kyle Lowry's trying to save the day. He was doing phenomenal. That's not enough though. You're playing Kemba, Brown, and Tatum. It's just not enough, and they had no Gordon Hayward. So I just wanted to let that be known. They had no Gordon Hayward.
And I think the Celtics, I was super impressed with the Celtics here. All of them took a huge jump. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I laughed at the Jaylen Brown contract this offseason, and he has really lived up to that contract.
Attention to it.
Jason Tatum has taken that step to show he can be a legit superstar in this league. Although I don't think he's there yet, he can be a superstar. And those two guys were better than anybody that the Raptors had on the roster. So it's tough to match up with that.
A lot of people meme Jaylen Brown. They said he didn't deserve that money when the contract first happened.
He proved everybody wrong.
Yeah,
He's really
everybody.
Based off of last season, he definitely did not deserve the money because he was not great last season. He was good, but he was definitely not deserving of that money. And then you got to give credit to the Celtics because they saw it in him, and he grew into that role and really earned that contract.
Kind of giving me what Indiana wanted to do with Paul George and Danny Granger, kind of just to play the two-man wing at the top. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting right now. But we'll see, man. They got Miami up next.
So Miami and Boston. Who do you guys have in that series? I mean, me personally, I have Miami because I've already picked Miami. I'm sticking with them. But I think I'm picking Miami more because of experience. Because I think that Iguodala and Jimmy Butler bring something to the table that Boston doesn't have. Especially Iguodala.
What does Jimmy bring to the table that Jason Tatum and Brown haven't brought to the table?
Experience.
Experience where?
He's a dog, man.
He is a
I
dog.
would take him on my team any
Tatum
day.
and Brown have been to an ECF before Jimmy Butler. They've been there before. They played
That's a good
LeBron.
point.
So they played the number one guy. They played him before.
Took him to 7.
They played Giannis twice already. They played guys.
You're right
before.
about that, but Iguodala's made 5 straight
Oh
finals.
no, I wasn't even talking about.
Yeah.
You got.
But
the
Jimmy
easy part.
Butler, look, Jason Tatum, everybody's putting him in like the superstar category. A lot of people are right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's going to prove it to me is what he's going to do against Jimmy Butler. Because Butler's going to take on the challenge to guard him.
You think
without a
Jimmy's
doubt.
gonna check him?
And if Jimmy checks him and Tatum struggles, then we'll kind of see where Tatum is at right now.
Okay.
If Tatum goes off, then we'll see, he is the real deal, and he's the future for real. But I got Miami.
Okay.
I just think their three-point shooting, I
Yeah,
think,
it's
like,
crazy.
out of all the teams that are still left in the playoffs, they're first in percentage, and I think they're first in attempts. Their defense is phenomenal. They're great defensively.
Absolutely.
Bam Adebayo, I think he's going to abuse Tice down
I don't know
low.
about abuse, but
I think he's going to abuse Tice down low. And you just got a bunch of guys like Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic has scored, Tyler Hero. And these guys, they might not be the best of defenders, but they all play and hustle extremely hard, especially Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is really he's a dog too.
He's a shot hitter.
Miami just has a bunch of dogs, and I think Boston, their dog, legitimate dog, is Marcus Smart. Outside of that, there's nobody else that really hustles as hard as people that Miami they're gonna hustle.
And I feel like a couple of those Boston guys are coming into their own a little bit. Like, I think Jaylen Brown can get like that. I think Jason Tatum can get like that, but they're not there yet. And you mentioned Jimmy Butler. He's going to step up and get in Jason Tatum's face, and it's really going to show you what kind of guy Jason Tatum is. Is he going to accept that challenge and go right at him, or is he going to shy away? And I also love that you brought up Bam Adebayo. I think he has been the X factor for them all postseason long. His defense on Giannis in the last round was the biggest difference in the series, in my opinion. He is one of the only guys in the league that can match up head-to-head with Giannis. And I think that, like you mentioned, there is nobody in the Celtics organization that can guard Bam Adebayo except maybe Taco Fall. And he's only going to be out there.
He's a -3 for his playoff
exactly.
career right now.
So
it's tough because Miami is gonna be a challenge. But here's the thing, Toronto. I feel like this right here, this series is gonna be a Kemba Walker series. And why I say that is because Toronto played a little bit of a boxing one on Kemba, and Kemba's not gonna see defenders because Jay Crowder, Andre Iguodala, Jimmy, they're gonna be busy with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They're gonna be busy. So you got guys like Tyler Herro, which no offense, he's a good offensive player. Talking about defense here though. Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic. You got guys like that guarding Kemba. Kemba, this got to be really your time where you got to really, because these aren't Kyle Lowry's, who we all know he's a pit defensively. These aren't Fred VanVleet. These are guys you can really exploit on the offensive end. You can really turn it around, get open shots for that. And you said he's gonna abuse Tice. Tice was second in the league in defensive real plus minus, so he's not like no scrub defensively. You're acting like that's gonna end. You said Jimmy's gonna check Jason Tatum. Yeah, he's right, but Marcus Smart is also gonna check Jimmy Butler, and Marcus Smart, we all know, is probably one of the best defensive guards in the league. So that's gonna be a challenge for Jimmy. I'm hoping Smart can disrupt and become that pesky guy, sort of like a better Pat Bev. He could just annoy Jimmy Butler, get him out of his rhythm, cause him to make some turnovers. But definitely Boston has to control the three-point line and make sure Miami is not hitting their shots, or it's going to be ball game. But I got Boston in 6.
I agree with what Rich said.
Boston.
What's the thing is that you talk about that individual matchup between Marcus Smart and Jimmy Butler, but Miami passes the ball. They're second in assists. So they're not an unselfish team.
Absolutely.
I think Boston is more kind of like ISO oriented. They ISO way more than Miami. Miami's going to spread the sugar. Everybody's going to get a little taste of the basketball. Everybody's going to get a little taste. And that's why they create so many shots. And I know that number about Tice, it surprised me. I didn't think he was.
You didn't know that?
Nah,
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
But I still, based off of just what my eyes tell me, I think Bam's just going to abuse him in that matchup.
Well, Miami is not going to be able to play zone like they usually do because they're one of the teams in the league that use zone the most. They're the most zone usage team in the league. And with a team like Boston, you're not going to be able to use zone. So it's going to be interesting to see what their 5-man lineup is at the end of fourth quarters, late in time. Who's going to check who? Who's going to check Brown? We know who's going to check Tatum. But who's going to check Brown? Who's going to check Kemba? So it's really good for me. Miami, I'm just interested to see the matchups and how they're going to defend. But I know Bam is going to be there down low because Tice isn't really a threat on offense aside from them lobs they like to throw. So it's just definitely going to be interesting to see the matchups.
That's my biggest concern, and it's been my concern for the Celtics all season long, and they've made it this far, so maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. But they have nobody down low. Daniel Tice is solid defensively, and Cantor is solid offensively, but they're both
There's a reason why he doesn't play.
They're both such liabilities on the opposite end. Yeah. If they could combine those two, they win the Eastern Conference with no problem, in my opinion. But they just have no presence down low. When they have Tyson, they have a slight presence defensively, but he's a net negative offensively, and the other way around with Cantor.
Can't Tice shoot?
Like,
what's his 3-point percentage? Because I've seen him make a couple.
I don't even see him stretch out there. I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
That might have been Aaron Baines.
Yeah, Baines is the shooter. Aaron's because Tice doesn't go out there like ever. He usually hovers around the paint, and they'll occasionally throw him a lob or two.
He's just kind of like dead weight offensively.
Yeah, offensively, he's there. If they could swap out Cantor on offense and then timeout and then call Tice and bring him in every time, it'd probably do that.
But also, I think another X factor that Miami has for them is that they have a way deeper bench. Boston plays 6 guys, and it's like Ojale and Wanamaker.
No, they'll play Grant Williams before they play Ojale. It's like 6.5 guys.
Grant Williams, I think he's a great defender. I think he could turn into that legitimate small ball 5. Yeah. But he just doesn't have a shot. He just can't shoot
now, it's not. I mean, Gordon Hayward is coming back eventually, so you got another guy.
Is he coming back this series?
No, it's this series. I think they said game 2 or game 3. But he's coming back, and he hasn't touched the basketball in a very long time. So I think they're going to play him off the bench because if you're bringing him back. You're taking Smart's minutes away, and he's been really, really good.
He's the heart and soul of that team.
Yeah, so he's like the Draymond. So, you got to keep him.
Exactly.
So, but Hayward is another versatile wing that can get his shot, create for others, and play a little defense. So you got another guy coming back. So it's really – I think this is going to be a pretty – you know what? I'm going to change my pick. Celtics in 7. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, who do you have?
I'm going to go Heat in 6. I think the most important thing is just the presence down low, just because, I think they're going to work inside through Bam Adebayo mostly, but they're going to work inside, work it through the paint, and kick it out to their shooters. And it's not going to be about individual matchups. It's just going to be about they're going to have to double down onto Bam because I don't think they could defend him one-on-one. And then who are you doubling off of?
I don't think you double Bam yet. I think you let game one flow. Let us see how it's looking. If he's just dominating him, then it's like, all right, we got to make some adjustments. Well, I think one-on-one, I don't think he's going to get dominated because it's not like Bam is nice. Don't get me wrong. He's a guy who can go inside and out, but that's not their game. Like you said, they're a passing team. So they're not going to just, he has ISO. He has the mismatch. We're going to just give him the ball. No, Miami's a team that just spreads the sugar, love to move the ball regardless of who's guarding who. They love to pass it around. So I think that's going to benefit Boston in a way because it's not going to be such a big mismatch with Tice guarding Adebayo. But, yeah, if he's killing him, you got to make some adjustments.
My big concern for the Heat is that a lot of their talent is youth. Like Bam Adebayo has not been here. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, all of those guys play big roles for this team, and they haven't been here. So if those guys don't step up in this Eastern Conference Finals, it's curtains. It's done.
Dragic is
That's where
well
guys
too.
like Jay Crowder, Iguodala, and Butler come in.
Dragic too.
Yeah, Dragic too. But I don't think what's his playoff experience like because he
been
didn't have none in Phoenix.
He's been balling as of recently. He played with Miami when they lost to Philly in 5. So I think that's about it though.
So JC, who do you have?
I got Boston in 7 too.
My guy.
I got Heat. I got
You're a hater, bro. I swear.
I got the Heat in 7.
Ridiculous.
I really believe in the Heat this year. Even though, like, before the year started, I didn't care about them at all.
You did not at all.
I was laughing at Bam Adebayo before the season.
Really?
Because I didn't think he was going to take this leap.
I didn't either.
I thought he was good. I didn't think he was going to, go crazy. But, yeah, this was a pretty impressive leap. I thought he should have won MIP. That's just me, though.
So this year, the Eastern Conference has showed me that it's basically wide open. There's no definitive team that is going to be ruling the Eastern Conference for years to come unless Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown take this humongous leap. But the team that right now, when healthy next year, that has the best shot is probably the Brooklyn Nets.
I think that's completely wrong.
You think so?
Nah, I don't.
But
keep going.
They have the best. They have the best duo out of any team in the Eastern Conference: Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So, do you guys think that they can make the finals next year?
Do I think? Yes, because they have the talent. They have Kyrie, KD, Spencer Dinwiddie. They have Karis LeVert. They have Joe Harris. They have their bigs, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan. So they have guys. I think that first year, though, they're not going to make it. I think everybody's got to gel first. I think it's going to be the gel year, the year everybody gets it together. KD's still got to get his rust out. Kyrie got to learn how to play with each other. And then I think the next year is going to be like, all right, we had our fun first year. Let's rock out. I still believe in Boston next year. I still believe in Boston next year. The way they're taking the leap, I can only assume and hope that Jaylen Brown and Tatum take that next big leap, and then they'll be able to compete with Boston. I'm not saying Kemba's better than Kyrie because he's not. I'm thinking they're like right here. You got Jaylen Brown. He's better than everybody not named KD and Kyrie. Jason Tatum is also better than everybody not named KD and Kyrie. So I think that's going to be like Boston and the Nets are going to be like, of course, in Milwaukee, they're just going to be jockeying for the position of next year. But, yeah, I think
Milwaukee to make the finals.
Oh, no, they're just going to be winning 50 to 60 games next year and then, make the finals. I don't know. If Giannis comes back with a jump shot, hell yeah. But I doubt it. So we'll see.
Are you betting on that?
Hell no. I'm not betting on that one. But, yeah, can the Nets win the title? Yes. Will they? I don't think they'll win it the first year, though.
What about you?
I'm a Net fan, and I'm not a Net fan who's out here.
Do you think? Never mind.
I'm not throwing.
That's his own thing.
You'll ask that later.
I'm not throwing the parade yet because there are certainly hoops that the Nets got to jump through before they can be a title team. And the first thing is this offseason, which Sean Marks has done an incredible job with this team, but I am so nervous getting through this offseason because all the talks have been what they're going to do to improve the team. I don't think they need to do anything. I think they have a really solid core there.
I think so, too.
And I think it would be really short-sighted to trade for a guy like Bradley Beal. There's not enough basketballs in the gym. He doesn't bring anything defensively that you don't have already, and that's not what you need. It would just be making a move for a star's sake.
That definitely is a Drew Holiday grabbing move.
I think a Drew Holiday would be a game changer for you guys.
I would like a Drew Holiday move.
A guy who can defend and score and also create for others. I think that would be the guy you need to take the weight off Kyrie in the backcourt so he can play defense. He can also guard wings, too.
Yeah.
So
I just don't want the Nets to give up too much to get a name. Like, I think that I would be okay trading Spencer Dinwiddie because I think that he is the odd man out of that group of guards, and Kevin Durant, who is essentially a guard when he wants to be, just because he's such a good isolation scorer. And he can distribute, but he is mostly an isolation scorer. I think he would thrive somewhere else. So for nothing else than his own sake, he would be the guy that I would be most willing to get rid of. I don't think they need to make a move, though. And so I think getting through the offseason is the first step in them being a championship contender. And I think you made a good point. Do I think they can? 100%. Do I think they will? That's a much different question. I want to say yes because I'm a Net fan. But, a lot depends on what Kevin Durant comes back as. If you can get him at 75, 80%, he's still one of the best players in the league.
Keep trying to tell this guy that.
No, yeah, but not Luka, though.
Oh, my God.
I would still have Luka, bro. I love Luka.
Kevin Durant at 90% is better than everybody on earth except LeBron.
Yeah, the good thing about Kevin Durant is, like, if it was a Russell Westbrook or a Giannis.
Oh, he's done.
His career is over because they rely on athleticism. But Kevin Durant could stand on the court with his feet tied together on the wing and still get you 20 points a night. Like, he just scores in his sleep.
I'm just imagining that right now.
That just sounds crazy.
As much as it's a joke, it's really not that ridiculous of a thing to say because he has such a deep, extensive bag. He is just a born scorer. So, like, I'm not that concerned about his athleticism because I know he can get his.
KD Trey.
And then, the health is obviously the big concern. Like, can KD stay out there?
Kyrie, too.
Kyrie stay out there because we watched what happened this year. When he was out there, he was arguably the second or third best point guard in the league healthy. Sure. And the question is, can he stay out there? I don't have as many questions about, like, the team chemistry and, KD and Kyrie, like, can they coexist? I definitely think they can. They made the decision to come here and play together. Clearly, they think they can work together. I'm not going to question that. But the health is the biggest concern for me.
I'm a Nets fan just like you. I do think we have a shot at making the championship. I do think we can win, but like you said, our two core guys are injury prone. Our third player that's supposed to be that guy, Karis LeVert, is also injury prone. I like the team. I like the way the team is set up. I like Kyrie Irving at point guard. He's a great scorer. You got Kevin Durant, who's a great scorer. I want to resign Joe Harris just so that he's that, he can stretch the floor.
His contract is
he's a free agent.
They need to bring him
and
back.
I think that he's going to have a lot of suitors, and I don't think it's out of the realm that he could leave, but who knows. I like our two big man duo with DeAndre Jordan
I have a
and
question
Jared
about
Allen.
that when you're done, too.
They protect the paint. They get rebounds. They block shots. I think this team is constructed well. I agree with you. I don't think we should trade for, like, a Bradley Beal type of player because, like you said, defensively he doesn't bring anything. He just brings more scoring. There's not enough basketball for the three players. My biggest concern for the Nets is just injuries. I mean, it's kind of crazy that your top three guys who are the top three best players on your team are all injury prone.
And that's Kevin the good Durant, thing with the depth. Like,
exactly.
That's why you don't want to give up a Dinwiddie or a LeVert.
Exactly,
because the games, Kyrie's going to miss 20 games.
Exactly.
30.
He's going to miss 20 games.
You need somebody
you have
to
that guy,
carry
Spencer
the load.
Dinwiddie, who's a very reliable starter. So like I said, my concern is just the injuries. Do I think this team can gel? Yes. But, I mean, we'll have to find out.
I think you go first.
I just have a quick question. All right, so you guys are talking about trading Dinwiddie, right? Are you more comfortable with walking in with the lineup with a big man like Jared Allen or DeAndre Jordan, pick your poison?
They both do the same thing.
Or are you comfortable with trading Dinwiddie for a small ball four?
Who can defend?
Four. Yeah,
they have Taurean Prince, though.
He sucks.
I know that was a joke.
He's horrible.
If you could get Atlanta
like Aaron Gordon,
yes, that's what I was expecting.
Atlanta Taurean Prince
he wasn't
would
bad.
have been perfect for this lineup.
Well, you guys made him take
dumb.
15 shots. So, I mean,
that's a good point.
You guys turned him into the third scorer. He's not going to be good.
But he's relatively a good shooter.
He's not a
34% shooter.
I mean, if he's taking like 8 shots.
No, he wasn't a guy. No, you had Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyrie, Karis LeVert.
Well, when Kyrie was down, that's when he started taking
Joe
all the damn shots.
I think Joe Harris.
Would you be more comfortable with walking in with like an Aaron Gordon type guy, like a small ball five?
Aaron Gordon sounds ugly.
Yeah,
he's solid. He's not bad.
Is it crazy? And maybe this is just me being delusional, but can Rodi Kurucs be a guy who can give you solid small ball?
I don't even know who you just said.
Rodions Kurucs. How did you feel about his postseason performance?
He played
he played pretty. The guys at the bottom of the roster.
He played pretty well in the bubble.
He played great in the bubble. He was awesome.
What about Dario Saric?
He was awesome too.
Jonnet Musa? We don't have Darius Saric.
I'm saying, like, would you trade for him, like a guy like that, like a stretch four that can pop out?
It would
and
be
hit
a good
the
fit.
It would
he
be.
could shoot.
He
He could defend.
Just get PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker.
honestly,
He
that
would
wouldn't be bad.
literally be
But then
perfect.
that's
That
a
wouldn't be
6'4"
bad.
center. You don't want that.
6'5".
Yeah,
So
no,
what-
I don't want.
Just put him at the 4.
I
You
don't
put
like
KD at the 5?
the idea
No,
of
put KD at the 3. You
small
got
ball.
Jared Allen starting.
I'm saying because the league is transcending into a small ball league, and Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan are great defensive bigs, but they offer virtually nothing on offense except for lobs. And Kyrie isn't a guy
Putbacks.
who's gonna throw a lob, and neither is KD. Those are move out the paint. I want my ISO. So would you be more comfortable trading Dinwiddie for like
A person
maybe
who
a
can stretch the floor.
Vucevic type
What?
player,
Of
a guy who
course.
can stretch out?
Yeah.
I think
Vucevic would be
Dinwiddie and Allen in a pick for Vucevic, that would put you guys pretty far.
That'd be
You still
amazing.
get
That's
to keep
not a bad
LeVert.
That'd be
deal at all.
amazing.
That's
And he
like
can
a
really
guy
shoot
like-
lights
yeah,
out. He's
that's
got
what I'm saying. He
post
can
game.
I'm in
shoot.
on that.
Like a guy
I'll
like
do
that,
that.
a guy who can stretch out, shoot the 3 because that Allen down low.
And honestly, no team really loses out on anything. I mean,
well, I mean,
Orlando gets Spencer, Jared Allen.
They
you
have
know.
Mo Bamba too, so I think they want to.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. And they're kind of
We get
stuck
Vucevic.
right now. Like they're like that
Anybody who
solid-
can shoot and stretch the floor fits the net system.
yeah.
Dinwiddie's people are gonna want him. So I'm saying that would be because they also need a point guard too. So yeah,
You know that I'm all in on small ball. I love the idea of it. But the reason why I don't think it fits the Nets is because I think their personnel is good enough to win without it. Because the reason why the Rockets, they had to go small ball is because you couldn't pack the paint with Westbrook there, even to an extent with Harden. With Kyrie and Kevin Durant, it's not much of a problem because they're probably going to be getting most of their baskets on the perimeter. And
What do we think of Steve Nash?
I like
I'm
that.
still. I don't want
I
to
have
say
a hot
anything.
take about Steve Nash.
Oh,
Kinda like
shit.
it.
Hot take.
My hot take about Steve Nash is I think that he gives me Steve Kerr level.
I was gonna say the
Vibe.
same thing.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
he's gonna
That-
thrive for you guys.
That the way that Steve Kerr shocked all of us, I think Steve Nash is going to do the same thing. He gives me that feeling of Steve Kerr, how good he was as a coach.
Me too.
That's what I feel about
feel like
Steve
we're gonna
Nash.
have the best
I think you need a
offense next year
coach.
in the
I
league.
think Nash is the type of coach who's very nonchalant, very calm. He's not going to yell at you. He's not going to be all in your ass. He's the guy who's going to talk to you and really treat you like we're on the same level.
Yeah.
That's what Steve Kerr was. He'll sit down with you. Oh, Jesus Christ! He'll sit down with you, talk to you. He's not going to sit there and yell at you. He's going to say, "Yo, look, this is what
Strengths
you
and
need to do."
weaknesses. Yeah,
and you don't need that Greg Popovich in your ass coach sometimes. Sometimes you just need that calm, cool, collected coach. I think that's what Nash is going to be. He fits that for KD and Kyrie.
I think offensively we're gonna be just fine. I think we're gonna be a top
I think
5
you'll be
offense.
top
It's
5,
just
yeah.
defensively, I'm worried. I
don't think you'll be top 5 because you won't be healthy enough. I think you'll be
That's
like
fair.
8, 9.
Given
That's
that, but I'm just nervous defensively. Steve Nash or even the last Kenny Atkinson. The Nets aren't really a defensive oriented team. So, and I also kind of think that we don't have the personnel to be a really good defensive team.
No, definitely.
I
we
agree with
definitely
you
do
when
not.
you said you got Kyrie Irving. It's not really that good of a defender. You got Karis LeVert. He's just an average defender. Joe Harris can't
I
really
think his
defend
size just
anybody.
helps him.
You don't know what KD was a good defender, but
Very
you don't know
good
what he's
defender.
going to do now.
Exactly.
with
So
the Achilles.
that's a big
Who are
question
you?
mark.
The question mark with the Nets is going to be who are you when a guy is getting a bucket? Who are you going to put on him to stop him? And you guys don't have a stopper.
We don't.
That's why I said Drew Holiday was a perfect because he
That's an
can
amazing-
stop
Wings.
the guy,
He can stop
anybody,
wings, guards,
except the center relatively, but he can stop somebody. So that's going to be tough for you guys. But you guys can also get a bucket with any team in the
exactly.
league.
True.
So it's
But
going to be interesting
defensively,
to
it's
see.
just worrisome.
The Nets.
I like the Steve Kerr comparison. That's the guy he was in the building with
Mm-hmm.
in Golden State where he really got his start in front office outside of basketball.
Him and KD and Steph played golf together.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like my first gut reaction was like, we went through this with Jason Kidd. Why are we
Yeah,
going
me
back?
too.
But then when I thought about it, like Jason Kidd, as much as he's considered one of the greatest point guards of all time, and deservedly so, he was never known as this great communicator
At all.
Like a lot of the stories that you hear about him off the court are not great.
Not
Steve
only
Na-
that, but Jason Kidd, when he was in Brooklyn, he had kind of an unprofessional reputation.
Yeah,
He always got
exactly.
DUIs.
Realistically,
and stuff,
I'm
getting
going
into
to be
trouble.
honest. Also, the team wasn't like
yeah.
It wasn't that good.
100%
it was
agree.
a good team. It was a playoff team, but it wasn't a championship team.
100% agree. And Steve Nash is a guy who, correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard nothing but good
he's
things
a great
about him
guy.
as a leader, a person, a communicator. And that's what I think the most important thing is because, I'm sure you guys saw it the other day, the video of Steve Kerr talking to Steph Curry in multiple different games where he was just talking him through like rough stretches. And the way he communicated with Steph and got him back on the right page is, I think, exactly what you need for guys like KD and Kyrie.
Definitely Kyrie.
And there's stories about Steve Nash that I think each game, he would high five his teammates like about 150 to 200 times.
His godson is your man, your guy. RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett, yeah.
That's his godson.
It's gonna be horrible when they play him. He's gonna game plan for Barrett so
he
well.
knows exactly how he plays too. That's crazy. Nah, Steve Nash is a great hire. I like that. That's definitely the guy you needed to go into the future. And if you don't win, life. At least get there.
Yeah. And the other good thing about like beyond being good now with KD and Kyrie, I think that just getting those two guys in the building made you a player. Yeah. Like they had the Paul Pierce experiment, but they were still kind of looked at as like a joke.
You didn't have a KD frankly. Talent, yeah.
And sometimes you need to be willing to give up a good, solid culture for talent because talent wins in this league. Yeah, and even if you don't win a championship with this core, you made yourself a location that guys are going to look at when their contracts.
Don't get me wrong. I love D'Lo. Shout out to D'Lo, one of my favorite.
Really good,
but he helped you guys get to where you needed to get.
Exactly.
And he deserves enough credit. He put y'all on the map, got you guys the fame, all that, and now you guys have KD and Kyrie. Shout out to D'Lo though.
So right now, Brooklyn's third star is Karis LeVert. So the real question is, can Karis LeVert be that third star? Is he this star player?
Based off history, with third stars, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, those type of guys. Karis LeVert, if you look at his numbers when he's healthy, he's a solid. He can be the star of a team. But to be a star, the third star of a team, you have to be consistent, you have to be healthy, you have to be available.
Yeah.
He is none of those three. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say no for right now just because of the simple fact that he's always – and he had these injuries since college. I followed him in college in Michigan.
He fell out of the lottery because of it.
Yeah, he fell out. He was before he fell out the lottery, he was putting up
he was
record
averaging
numbers.
A triple-double.
Yeah, he was putting up record numbers, and they were winning. Gets hurt. Same thing. His foot. Always his foot. Always his foot. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, he has to be healthy, consistent. And if he's healthy and consistent, he can be that third star. Yeah. He doesn't even need to be the third star. Just has to be there when they need him to be there.
Yeah.
Like a J.R. Smith.
Hopefully a little bit better.
Yeah, just a little bit better. But J.R. be hitting some...
J.R. Smith went on the Knicks?
No. Well, he hit some big shots for you guys. More like J.R. in Cleveland.
Oh,
yeah, J.R.
I don't have any good memories from J.R. in Cleveland.
You guys been J.R.
I have the game one debacle.
Better one. Danny Green in San Antonio.
Okay, I like.
Yeah,
that.
but you're naming like elite
that.
shooters. Karis LeVert.
No, I'm just a guy who shows up.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a guy who shows up.
Okay.
Danny Green in San Antonio.
That's cool.
As long as he's
I definitely agree with what you're saying. The biggest concern for me is his health, and I also don't think he needs to be a star. I think he can be a star on a team like. I don't know.
The Knicks?
The Hornets?
I didn't want to say, but the Knicks, the
Hornets.
Like teams that aren't going to win anything next year. He could go and average 25 a game if he stayed on the court 60, 70 games maybe.
He could put 25 on the Hornets.
He has star potential. There's no question about it. His ability is there, but the question is, can he stay on the court for 60 games?
You have to look at the league, too. The league isn't dominated by the Golden State Warriors. It's a two-star league and then a bunch of role players and good players after. So they don't need – if they get him to be a star, perfect, great.
Yeah.
You're going to the chip. If you don't, just need him to be that good player that's going to show up like a vet.
Spencer Dinwiddie to lean on, too. Yeah. Spencer Dinwiddie can
Spencer's going to give you 18 off the bench.
Yeah.
Easy.
All the time.
18 and 6.
I know that I go back and forth on Twitter with Sebastian and all you Nets fans that talk about Karis LeVert like he's this Hall of Famer. But realistically, he is a good player, and I think that some of these comparisons that Nets fans just drive me crazy. It's just this rivalry. But
sound like Stephen A.
Karis LeVert can be a good player, and I think he's shown that in the playoffs he performs under pressure. I mean, last two playoffs he's averaged 20 points. This past playoffs he shot 43% from three. So he's labeled like not as a knockdown shooter, but I mean he's shown that he can be. He shoots 36% from three in the regular season.
Yeah.
So he can hit some big shots, and what impressed me the most, especially in the bubble, is Karis LeVert was having these games where he would put up 10+ assists in a row.
He took over.
Yeah, even when he wasn't shooting the ball well, he was impacting the game defensively.
When he needed to take over, you saw it. He can do it when he's healthy. He can do it for short spurts when he's healthy. He just has to be healthy. He has problems. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Do you think it's out of the realm of a possibility that Karis LeVert is a Chris Middleton level player?
The only question I have is, I think that the fact that we have KD, Kyrie, and even Spencer Dinwiddie, even Joe Harris, like it's going to stunt his ability to get to that level just because you're never going to see him as the number 2 guy unless, God forbid, you lose one of those guys for the season.
Yeah.
I think it always comes down to the system. I think Middleton's system is benefited for him to perform. He just has to get better and be that guy. Mm-hmm. I think to put LeVert in that type of system where he can't really shoot as well as Chris Middleton, because Chris Middleton's a knockdown shooter, and it'll force him to, because he likes to attack the paint, drive, so it'll just clog up the paint for Giannis. I don't think he'll be that type of star there. But like I said, I think not Chris Middleton. I think he's more along the lines of above. I think he's better than Tobias Harris. Me personally, I think he's better. I think he's like around that level though, a little higher, more like the Malcolm Brogdons of the league. Like he's when healthy. I'm talking about when he's healthy. He's that type of player. Like not an all-star, but he can be.
Would you put him in like a CJ McCollum level?
No.
You don't think it's far fetched?
It depends on what you think of CJ McCollum.
I think CJ McCollum's a volume scorer.
I think CJ can be an all-star.
I think that I think that CJ is a solid comparison for him.
So then
CJ has never made an all-star in the West.
I personally think he's better than Victor Oladipo.
Who?
CJ McCollum. I think he's
Oladipo now.
Oladipo now, absolutely.
I think he's better. I think if he was in the East, CJ can make the all-star game.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
So where do you think Oladipo stacks up with LeVert?
Right now? LeVert might be better than him.
LeVert is better, but I think when healthy, Oladipo.
I agree.
When healthy, Oladipo is better. Right now, I think LeVert's hard to judge because he can cook Oladipo on a good night, like on a healthy night. He can be at CJ's level on a healthy night, but he doesn't give us enough.
Yeah, and you can't see that consistency because he's not healthy enough to be out.
So it's like it's tough for him. He's like one of those. He's like he's so annoying.
I love Karras though. He's my guy, and I was on him from when he was at Michigan. Like the night we drafted him, I was super high on him because you saw what he could do if he stayed healthy.
He played on that championship team with Trey Burke.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Tim Hardaway and them. He was there, so he could do his thing. He's just got to be healthy. I like the Nets though. You guys are solid.
I hope so.
So, Jack, you're a Nets fan. You're a Mets fan, too. I know they got a new owner. You're probably hyped about that.
One of the greatest days of my sports life.
Really?
Oh, my God. The Wilpons are the worst owners in sports. So, to get rid of them, the Mets are going to become the Dodgers East. You could bookmark that right now. You could write it down in your notebooks. The Mets are going to become the Dodgers East.
I was talking to my friend about it, and he actually said that out of all of the New York teams, he thinks the Mets might be the worst managed.
100%.
You sure?
100%.
Do you watch baseball?
Nah, I don't, but I was just talking to my friends about it.
I think the Jets could give you a run for your money. The Jets suck.
See, I'm also a Jet fan.
Me too.
The Jets could
give you a run for your money.
I love pain.
The Knicks could give you a run for your money too.
No. You gotta understand how bad the Mets have been.
How about the Jets?
Yeah. But the
Mets have recently made a World Series. The Jets haven't touched anything since 1969.
The World Series was luck, though. The Mets are.
And didn't Matt Harvey fall off?
Yeah. The thing that gives me pause about the Mets is like they have almost accidentally done okay. Like they have one of the best young talented cores in baseball
right
now.
The Jaguars accidentally won.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not because I give no credit to anybody in the front office because it's been accidental. I will say Brody has done a solid job drafting, but everywhere else he has been a failure. And I actually don't dislike Brody as much as a lot of people do, but everywhere else other than the draft he's been a failure. And the owners are the worst in sports, except maybe James Dolan.
Woody Johnson.
James Dolan's probably the worst.
Or Woody Johnson.
My friend was telling me because I don't know about baseball. I'm just starting to really get into it, but they told me like there's something in baseball called like the farmhouses, like
the farm system.
Yeah,
so
the
it's
farm
like
systems.
single A, double A, triple A. Yeah, we basically sold our entire farm system for a closer that came and totally fell off.
Yeah, my friend told me that the Mets have one of the best farm systems. They just trade away all their talent before they get to the majors.
Yeah, because they signed Brody Van Wagenen and a former agent to be their GM, which was a total mistake.
Looking for a team in baseball? Come to Astro World.
The Astros are
You're
hated
an Astro
right now.
Man? That's not
the place to be right now.
A lot of people hate the Astros. I actually do not hate the Astros. I am totally indifferent to them. I think that everybody who is pouring on the Astros for what they did the past few years, they're being totally hypocritical because I think that every team in baseball cheats. It's just about who gets caught and who doesn't. So if like especially Yankee fans and Red Sox fans, like
cheat.
The Yankees and Red Sox were named in the investigation. So tell me how you're going to be on the Astros about it.
I mean, we're trash right now, But I just became a fan like 4 years ago, so I'm not really too I'm just learning baseball.
I know there's a Twitter page about the Astros.
We just won a
they
World Series.
Highlight every time like somebody strikes out or fails. They highlight
the
it on the
Astros
page.
shame tour.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
We suck right now.
It's a joke.
Now I'm still picking my team in baseball though. I'm thinking about going with
we just won a chip.
I'm thinking about going to the Mets just because I like the logo. I like the colors.
Go to Yankees. They have Aaron Judge.
I'm telling you to be a Met fan.
I like
Steve
Pete Alonso, Jake DeGrom too.
Steve Cohen's got deep pockets. He's a lifelong Met fan. He's going to come in and empty his wallet. And I'm telling you, they got a really nice young core. And once they start to sign some free agents and bring some real players in, no offense, I like Brody. I've met him before. He's a good dude. He answered like a bunch of my questions, but he's not a GM. He's an agent. When they bring in a real GM and they start to spend some money, things are going to turn around and they're going to be a competitor these next couple of years.
Lonzo signed with Clutch. Another LeBron plot. He's going back to LA.
Yeah, one of the three non-Lakers that signed the Clutch.
Or he's just going to get a huge contract with the Knicks.
Oh my God! You would pay Lonzo?
I mean, the Knicks have said they want to.
But if you pay Lonzo, then you draft LaMelo. I don't see why. Well,
there's no way.
I'm not saying you could draft LaMelo. I'm saying if you would have done that, I would have been all for that move.
It would have been a circus, though.
So the Nets, Mets, and Jets. We're all Jets fans right here. Yeah. He's an Eagles fan. Right now, we're going to talk about the AFC
This
East.
week is probably the only time in our lifetimes that you felt more pain in a week than the Jets have, because that loss to Washington was tougher, in my opinion, than our loss to the Bills, because I knew we were going to lose. I didn't have any hope that we were going to win week 1.
How about that loss week 1 last year? That was pretty tough.
We didn't lose week 1.
No, when we lost to the Bills.
I was there that game.
I was at that game.
Yeah, I was crying. I was literally laughing the whole time. It's just the way I blew the lead was so funny.
Horrible.
So in week 1, the Patriots face the Dolphins and the Bills face the Jets. Mm-hmm. We're going to give our AFC East predictions right now. So we'll save the Jets for last, because I know we got a lot to say about the Jets. But
everybody played already, right?
Yeah, everybody played already. First, what we're gonna do first is that we're just gonna name who we think is gonna win the division, and then just give a quick analysis on each team and how we feel about them.
You know my team. You know how I'm rocking with. Bills gonna win the division.
What do you have?
I wish you would have asked me. I wish we would have done this segment about the AFC East like last week, because my views totally changed after week 1. I feel so much worse as a Jet fan. I knew they were going to lose. I had no doubt they were going to lose week 1.
Would you have picked the Jets last week?
Don't tell me you
no, not to win the division.
Okay.
No. I'm not sold on the Bills. Even after watching them on Sunday, I'm not sold on them. I don't think that
they're going to destroy that division.
Are they?
That's all you need.
The only reason I'm thinking about picking Bills is because the rest of the division is just such a question mark. The Jets aren't there yet. The Dolphins, I don't think, are there yet. And the Patriots.
What's the most consistent team that came back from last year?
It's the Bills. Which it's almost like I'm going to say the Bills only because I don't feel confident enough to say any other team, but I would not be surprised at all to see the Patriots win the division if Cam Newton can be what he was on Sunday.
He played all right.
You know, if they can get that out of him consistently week to week, I don't see any reason the Patriots can't win the division. And it also is a big question mark. Look at the schedule that the AFC East has to play this year. It's going to be one of the hardest in football for all these 4 teams. So who is going to be able to withstand that week to week? I know the Jets aren't going to be able to.
Well, no, that's no question.
I don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to.
And it comes down to the 2 Patriots and the Bills, and I trust the Bills' defense.
I know Bill Belichick is going to have his team ready week to week. There's no question about it.
I know that. What I would say is I know the Bills' defense is going to show up every week. It's if Josh Allen and that offense is going to show up and do something.
I don't know about Josh Allen. Everybody's so sold on Josh Allen already, and I am not sold on him. He has the talent to be a star quarterback. Maybe superstar quarterback. He has crazy arm talent.
He has the talent. He can run the ball. He just hasn't put it together.
But he's just not a quarterback in my eyes. Like, he's just a great player, but he's not a great quarterback. You look at the best quarterbacks in the league, Russell Wilson. You look back at like a guy like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees. Like, he does not have what they have, and I don't think you can grow that. Like, I think that's something that you either come into the league as or you're not, and I don't think he has that.
I think.
So wait, JC, who do you have winning the division?
I got the Patriots winning the division.
You got the Patriots?
Yeah.
Who you got?
I got the Patriots, and I think it's an easy answer for me.
Oh my!
And the reason I say that is because You say you trust the Bills' defense. I trust the Patriots' defense way more. The Patriots have a way better secondary than the Bills.
That's true.
Way better secondary than the Bills.
I think defense is a whole.
Defense is a whole.
I think it's pretty even.
No, it is a whole, yeah, but I think the Patriots have them.
I mean,
they edge them out a little bit.
Tre'Davious
just
White,
because
Micah Hyde, they ain't no scrubs. They ain't no scrubs. They there.
That's a really good secondary.
But with me, I think I trust Bill Belichick way too much to just lose the division.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton, I think he's the best quarterback in the division. People talk about Josh Allen. If Josh Allen does put it together, he can be the best, but he's too inaccurate. I mean, yesterday he missed this really wide open pass in the end zone. And he just really threw it like 20 yards.
Yeah, he does shit like that a lot. Like you just look at him like, what are you doing?
He's super inaccurate, and I just trust Cam Newton because I think their offense is going to be run the clock, and the short passing game. They're just going to chunk up yards, kind of like what Brady did with them. And people talk about the Patriots' weapons, and while that is true, I don't think that you have to have the best weapons to just run the ball and get first downs.
Especially
I really
in their system. So. Especially in their system. You saw Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He didn't have crazy arm talent towards the end of his stint there in New England, and they dominated.
You talk about like the Eagles last year where you guys had no receivers.
We had that man, though, Pennsylvania.
You have, Wentz, or whatever, Wentz.
Pennsylvania, so.
It was just Doug Peterson's play calling, and you guys just went down the field first down by first down, long drives. Yeah, I get that same feeling from the Patriots.
So you got the Patriots win division?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, without a doubt, huh?
Without a doubt, yeah. I trust Bill Belichick way too much to say no.
Nah, that makes sense. Like you said, it really comes down to Josh Allen. Like the Bills, everything about the Bills comes down to Josh Allen.
And this is the first year that the Bills are going to be faced with expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
People expect things from the Bills.
Absolutely.
We don't know if
they can
they're
the favorites to come out the division.
I was almost more impressed with the Patriots win on Sunday than I was with the Bills.
Isn't it because they're supposed to beat you guys?
Yeah, there was no doubt that they were supposed to beat the Jets. And I was not convinced by the Bills' win. Like it should have been a blowout. The Jets were in the game; they just didn't capitalize whatsoever. Like the Jets had opportunities to get in the football game. They just played. The offense was. I wanted to rip my eyeballs out. But the Patriots, like, you didn't know what to expect going into that Miami game. And Miami added a lot this offseason, and that was an easy trap game to fall into the first game of the year. And they really gritted out a win, and I liked what I saw out of New England and the fight they put in that game. And I feel like the Bills did not impress me in a game where they should have ran away and hid.
I think that division is going to come down to the end, come down to the wire. Last 3-4 weeks, week 17, week 16, it's going to come down because they're going to have around the same record.
Totally
I think it's going to really come down to how clutch can Josh Allen or Cam Newton be for their team, because obviously I don't think the Dolphins or the Jets are going to be in the driver's seat. I think it's really going to be, just like our division, I think it's really going to be Patriots and Bills, just like it's going to be Dallas and Philly all year. Same thing. Them two jockeying, losing one, losing here.
In the same sense, I don't think that the Jets or Dolphins are a rollover win.
No,
just
it's
like
a division
Washington
game.
And the Giants are not rollover wins. I think both of these
Giants
divisions are going to be
the Giants
up
aren't.
in the air.
I mean, if we don't have half of our O-line, of course any game is going to be a struggle for the most part. But yeah, you're right. Miami's going to play tough. Because they beat the Patriots last year.
I like what Miami's doing.
Yeah.
I like Brian Flores, and although I think, I'm not as high on what they did this offseason as a couple of other people, just because I feel like they were throwing money around, and although they brought in a couple of good players, I look at, and this is going to sound like I'm being a homer, but I look at like what Joe Douglas did this offseason, and I think that's a more, a smarter way of going about things where, you're not – the Jets could have went out and got Jadeveon Clowney for $20 million that they wanted to, but it wouldn't be smart for the future. We're going into next offseason with $35 million of cap space, and, how many guys do we really have to pay? We have our future lined up, and we're in the driver's seat of our own future, and I feel like the Dolphins are kind of
just
their legs are getting too far ahead of their body here, but I do like what they're doing.
You guys think Tua's going to play this year?
Yeah.
I think he'll play in like the middle of the year.
Like week 8, week 9.
So we've pretty much summarized like the Bills. We don't trust Josh Allen. The Patriots.
Don't say we. You.
You said you don't trust Josh Allen too much either. But okay, that's and the Dolphins, they've added way too many pieces. The Patriots is still kind of like a wait and see what Cam does. let's talk about the Jets.
I don't want to.
What do you guys think is wrong with the Jets? And mostly, I know Riv is gonna say everything.
Wow, he's just
Riv is gonna say everything, but
no, I actually don't think it's everything. I actually really like Sam Darnold. I think he's really good. I don't think he's what you think he is, but because you think he's like better than everybody. But I think he's good. I think if you get an offensive line behind Le'Veon Bell, he can be Le'Veon Bell. I still think you guys don't have enough receivers. Your defense, your front seven is still really good when they all play together. Your secondary is not. They're no slouches. They're no slouches. They can play.
They're solid.
Yeah,
they're
so
not gonna
you
lose
have a
you
solid
again.
team.
Yeah.
I just don't know what's wrong with
head coach.
Your coach is kind of whack, but I don't like. I don't
Not a
like. You
fan.
got to figure it out.
For me, it's simple, and it's. I was watching the Cardinals and 49ers game, and DeAndre Hopkins first game as a Cardinal. No OTAs, no preseason, and Cliff Kingsbury designs enough plays to get him the ball 16 times.
Could have been a Jet coach.
He gives him the ball 16 times, and he goes off. There's never been a game that I've seen Adam Gase coach that Le'Veon Bell has gotten a plethora of opportunities to make an impact.
Somebody in the passing game and in the running game.
Yeah, both. And
that's what he is too. You got to get him open on both areas.
And he does the same thing. He shoeboxes Sam Darnold too because. He I feel like Darnold can never get in a rhythm. Like, he'll make one good play, and then...
Shaq.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be no rhythm. Like, let him throw a couple short passes early. Get some momentum going. Because when he does get momentum going, he plays great. And he's shown that, but we never let him get that momentum going.
Great play callers find a way to get their best players the ball. And Adam Gase has shown that he can't.
Exactly.
And I think it's a disgrace that Christopher Johnson... said that we hired Adam Gase because he is going the direction that football is supposed to be coached. He is a future of offensive football in the league. He really said that about Adam Gase. And I feel like it's ridiculous because we could have had Mike McCarthy.
I think that Gase could be like an offensive coordinator under a coach that calls the plays offensively. So essentially, like, not having much of a role but still being the offensive coordinator, as disrespectful as that sounds, like, I don't know. I don't want to say, like, he cannot be a head coach. There's no way, because he is not a leader of men whatsoever, and you need that out of your head. He's the furthest thing from a leader of men, and you
Jamal
saw that last year.
Jamal said that too. As much as us Jets fans want to be mad about Jamal, he really did not lie.
He was right about something.
I saw the tweet you said. He was
things.
like, they scored 35, bro. Relax. I seen that.
No, yeah, because the Seahawks scored 38 on Atlanta, or I don't know, 38 or 48. 38. And, I mean, Atlanta's been a bad defense for the last, 4 years?
I mean, listen, Jamal, he's just got to give it a rest, to be honest. Like,
let it go. You traded.
I don't have any hate for him. Like, good for him. I want him to go out and do what he does. He's the best safety in the league. I wish that he would have went about things differently, because I think the way he handled it was totally just to bash the Jets and have them take all the blame for him not wanting to tough it out and be a leader here in New York. And that's fine. Like, not many people are built for that. And Jamal Adams, I don't think, is one of them, but just give it a rest. Like, stop talking about him.
You're playing with Russell Wilson, bro.
Yeah, like, go win. It's over. Like,
we're gonna win.
We're getting destroyed by the Bills. You're winning football games. Enjoy that. Get over it. He's like a salty ex-girlfriend. It's literally what it is.
If the Jets have a top 3 pick this year, or
have
the first pick, do we get Trevor Lawrence? Do we get rid of Sam Darnold?
I'm glad you bring this up, because it's something that I was going to bring up when we talked about the Jets and their full scale, what we think of this season. And it's something that, like, coming into the season, I realistically thought we could have been like a 6, maybe 7 win team. And after what I saw on Sunday, my confidence has just immediately deflated.
Should I feel worse?
We face the 49ers next game.
Yeah.
Should I feel worse because we lost to the Redskins?
Our schedule is... No. Because
the way you're just killing your team, I should just feel worse.
Like, it's not even about the loss as much as it's about how we lost. Because, like I said, we had chances to be in the football game, and it just, like, is every time we got a chance, we shot ourselves in the foot. And you look at our schedule. I'll read it out to you right here. Tell me where an easy game is in this schedule.
I'll tell you if it's a W.
You just lost to Buffalo. Now you got San Francisco.
L.
You got at Indianapolis.
0-3.
Denver.
0-4.
That's probably the easiest. That's the easiest game we'll see for a while. Because then after that, you get Arizona, who I'm huge on.
1-4.
You got at Los Angeles, the Chargers.
1-5.
Another questionable game.
The
Bills again.
1-6.
Jeez. The Chiefs, which I don't
even
want to think about.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about.
The Patriots, who
1-8.
The Dolphins, which is a toss-up
I'll
game.
give you
The
win.
Dolphins again, which is another toss-up
give you the
game.
win.
That'll be the best stretch of our season. Is 2 weeks against the Bills and a bye
The Chiefs
week.
would put 70 points on the board against you.
Those 3 weeks, the bye week and the Dolphins, is going to be our Super Bowl. Is those 3 weeks?
Damn.
The Raiders, that's not that
Questionable.
bad. The Seahawks,
No.
I don't even want to think about that game after watching Sunday because I just know we're going to get embarrassed and I'm going to have to read Jamal Adams literally
he
run
cannot
his,
wait.
his own magazine in the papers about how happy he is to be out in New York. I don't even want to think about it. The Rams, I don't feel good about that. The Browns, I'm not high on, so maybe you pull one out, and the Patriots again. So it's
I
like,
counted
where are
4
you
wins.
getting wins in that
counted 4
schedule?
wins.
I think the real thing that Jets fans should be hoping for is that Darnold doesn't throw more interceptions than touchdowns this season.
Yeah, and that
Because
and
it can
that is,
happen.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
my big concern. Is like if we don't win 6 or so games,
Just him play good.
and you're in a position where you win 3 games, you're the worst team in the league. You get the first overall pick. How could you say no to Trevor Lawrence? And I really like Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold can be a star quarterback in this league, whether it's with the Jets or without. I'm not saying that because he's a Jet.
No, I
just
agree
think
with
he's a great quarterback. And I think that if he doesn't thrive with us, he's going to go somewhere and become a star quarterback. And it's just because we have not given him any opportunities to grow. Look at Josh Allen. How much better he's gotten since he entered the league because he's been put in a solid supporting system with a good coach, a good
Second
defense,
best
a
running
good
QB.
offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have not
And
given
the
Sam
teams-
Darnold any of that.
The teams that are going to compete for the first overall pick are what, Jacksonville, and they don't look too bad.
And their-
Cleveland.
I don't
and
think
their
they'll pick him, though, 'cause
And their
I like
division isn't
Minshew.
that good. Like, I think they could
They could
sneak
Like,
some
the
games. They
teams
already
we
did in
think-
week 1.
The
It might be
teams
you
we
guys,
think-
the Dolphins.
Yeah, the
Who else in
Dolphins
the league is like
horrible. That
Exactly.
Like Washington has gotten really.
They're
They've
not
gotten better.
horrible. They just beat us.
I don't think they're horrible. I think they are really going to surprise some people this year.
I think the Giants will lose a lot of games.
But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think if there's a chance to take Trevor Lawrence, you
would
take
take
Trevor.
it?
Yeah, I would take Trevor Lawrence, and it's not so much because you can't miss the opportunity, but as much as I want to love Sam Darnold, he does make a lot of questionable decisions where you're like, why did you even throw that? Like there was nothing there.
Question: if you guys are, you get the number 1 pick, what makes you think you'll build a team that's fitted for Trevor Lawrence, but you haven't built a team for
Joe
Sam
Douglas. Mike
okay.
McCagnon couldn't run a football team. Neither could John Isdick, and they have left such a mess that it's going to take a couple of years for Joe Douglas to correct. But the fact of the matter is, by the time he corrects it, Sam Darnold will be like 27, 26,
That's as long-
27.
he's
That's like
young
4,
now.
that's like 4 years. I don't think that's ridiculous. That would be around the end of Trevor Lawrence's hypothetical rookie contract. And
Not only that, but teams that have won in this league have took advantage of their star quarterbacks being on rookie deals.
Yeah.
And by the time that we're going to be able
That's
to
what
take
we did.
advantage
Gonna
of
have to
that,
pay
we
Sam
have to pay
Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
We won a ring and paid wins.
And I don't know. I don't see how you could say no to a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who is arguably the most can't miss prospect since. Is it crazy to say Peyton Manning?
I'd say
Andrew Luck,
Andrew
maybe.
Luck, Andrew Luck.
But
told you.
he
Dude,
is
different.
No,
man.
I'm not
Can't miss
saying.
prospect.
I know how good Trevor Lawrence is. I'm just not 100% sold on him being an Andrew Luck or
yes,
even like
Uh,
a Peyton.
I wish
I'm
Andrew Luck
not
was back.
either, but when you have an opportunity to take a guy like that, I feel like you have to. And the other thing is Adam Gase has got to go. And we've talked about this. I have been nothing but patient with Adam Gase. When people wrote him off last season, I said, let's give him a chance. He hasn't had a healthy team. But he has had too many embarrassments with a healthy team out there to show that he's a good football. Coaches don't have what happened to them Sunday happen. It doesn't matter who's on the field. It doesn't happen. And he's had too many of those games. He's had his chance. He's not a Joe Douglas guy, so I don't think Joe Douglas will have any problem cutting ties with him. I would love to bring in a guy like Eric Bieniemy, who I wanted the first time around. And so we just set ourselves back like another 4 years, and it just is so aggravating.
Damn.
But I do feel good about Joe Douglas. I think he did a really good job this offseason. I loved his draft. And I just think he's a really good football mind. He did it in Philadelphia. He did it in Baltimore and was a huge part of championship teams in both of those places. So I think he's a great football mind. I think at the end of the day, he's going to do the right thing. But if we get to a place where we're in competing for the first overall pick, it probably means that Sam Darnold didn't improve at all, maybe degressed. And I don't see how you keep going with him on this, projection. I don't see how it's possible. And I love Sam Darnold. Like, I think he can be a star quarterback. So don't get me wrong on it. And I think he will be if he can go somewhere else where he can start and be a part of a good team. But I don't think that the Jets are going to be the place where he meets that.
Damn, Danny boy. Bye, Darnold.
Sucks, man.
I want him so badly to be our franchise quarterback, but it's like, are you going to, in the next, say, even after 2 seasons, he's going to have to get paid? How many years does he have left on his rookie contract?
Should be 2.
2 and the 5th-year option.
So 2 years we pay him. Are we going to, in those 2 years, find a consistent starting line with at least hopefully some rollover pieces where he can build some chemistry with them? Le'Veon's going to be gone. I think he's gone after this season because they're not going to want to pay that much money to a running back, which I feel bad for Le'Veon, but I understand it. I think he's done, what we wanted him to do. Yeah,
what sucks the most is that the Jets every year we get a really tough schedule. I don't know why.
All the time.
Last year was our chance, and we realistically, as crazy as it might sound, could have and probably should have been a playoff team if Sam Darnold doesn't go out and get mono.
Catch mono. Freak nasty.
You look at it, and I know, like, this is playing revisionist history, and it's going to sound like I'm just being a salty Jet fan, but they should have won week 1 against Buffalo.
No, you should have.
You're not even a Jet fan. They should have won that game.
Like, you blew that lead completely.
Even if you take the 3 weeks he missed last year, correct? Mm-hmm. Even if you take the 3 weeks where we just got absolutely embarrassed, we could have spotted the league 3 weeks of just getting annihilated and still could have been a playoff team if you beat the Bengals.
Should have beat the Bengals. Should have beat the Dolphins.
And it's just like,
we went really what? We went 7-9.
Yeah,
yeah. We beat the Bills. We're 8-8.
You would have been the same as
10. We would have been 10-6.
10-6.
You should have beat the Bengals. I don't know.
We got
what
told
happened
by the Browns on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I remember that. I was there for that one too.
So you talked about the Jets. We're probably gonna have to wait 4 more years, but let's just look. Let's just look forward to next week. We're gonna make our Sunday pick'em week 2 picks. Just going to go around every game from next week that's going to happen. You guys just tell me who do you think is going to win. So, Riv, starting with you.
Oh, my God.
The Bengals or Browns?
I'm going Bengals.
How about you, Jack?
I'm also rolling with the Bengals. I really liked what I saw out of Joe Burrow.
If it wasn't for that nonsense they called, A.J. Green wins the game.
I really like what I saw out of Joe Burrow, and I did not like what I saw out of... And I like the Browns, but I did not like what I saw out of them on Sunday, so I'm going Bengals.
I think Bengals sneak one.
I'm going Browns.
Oh, my God.
Giants or Bears?
Bears.
Bears.
They just got mad momentum after coming back.
I got the Bears, too. Rams or Eagles?
I don't even know. Based off the IR right now, Rams.
I'm gonna ask you because you're an Eagle fan. What is your health situation looking like? Like, are you guys gonna be a similar team?
I'm gonna repeat what I just said. Based off the IR right now, Rams.
Because you saying Brandon Graham makes me want to say Rams.
Brandon Graham's out. Lane Johnson's questionable. Miles Sanders is coming back.
If the Eagles
Vinny
are
Curry's
healthy,
out too.
If the Eagles are healthy, I take Eagles. But
we're not healthy.
With the Rams coming off a great win, the Eagles coming off a tough loss with the injuries, I'm going Rams.
Same.
Aaron Donald, Rams.
No, he's gonna destroy us.
Falcons.
I feel so bad.
Falcons or Cowboys?
Ooh, that's a good one. You know what? I'm gonna roll with Dak. This week.
I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Dak this week.
Panthers or Buccaneers?
Oh, Bucks. Yeah, Bucks. I'm gonna go Bucks. You guys were horrible last week.
I'm going Bucks. I don't think they look great against.
That's a good team, though, so I'm not even mad at you, though.
I don't think the Panthers are that good, so I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks.
People are going to over-exaggerate that loss, but it was against the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints are a great team.
Yeah.
49ers or Jets?
Oh, my God. Skip that, bro.
I might not even watch. The 49ers are...
They might know. I might not score.
I guess we all have 49ers. So, Broncos or Steelers?
Broncos.
Did the Steelers just win?
Steelers are winning.
The game might still be going on, right?
Yes.
Broncos
pull up the score.
You know people are keeping track of these picks,
Oh,
right?
no, it's final. 26-16. Pittsburgh
Steelers?
won.
I'll take Steelers. You said people,
The game is over?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
people were keeping track?
Yeah, somebody commented all of our picks.
Really?
And basically, you have 8. You have 8. I have 7. I think Chance lost by like a wide margin.
Oh, I shout it out. Yeah.
Okay, so Broncos, Steelers.
I said Steelers. I'm going to take Steelers.
I'm going to go Broncos.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win.
Denver.
I like
think
Drew Lock.
Von Miller's out. Cortland's son is injured.
I wish
Cortland's out?
Yeah,
he's out
Cortland
this
is
week.
out.
They still have Drew Lock.
I wish that I could answer this in like 3 hours. Like, I wish I could see.
Yeah, I want to see
him,
them.
yeah.
I want to see them first. And
I'm
then-
going to bet on them. I'll say Broncos.
I got the Steelers. Jaguars or Titans?
This is actually a good-ass game. And I liked what I seen from Minshew, but I'm going to slide with the Titans.
Again, I wish I could wait 3 hours, but I'm going Titans. I like the Titans this year.
Titans. Lions or Packers?
Before you continue, every time we all pick one team, they lose, like, all the time.
And we have had pretty similar picks. I think there's been like 1 or 2
We all
differences
picked
in our picks.
Eagles last week, and they dead lost. What'd you say?
Lions or Packers?
Lions are Detroit's a good-ass I'm going Packers.
I'm going Lions.
I think we all
Packers.
picked the
I'm
Lions
going
to win
Lions.
last week, too.
Packers.
My
Lions,
heart breaks for DeAndre Swift.
Yeah,
My heart breaks for Matt Stafford. DeAndre Swift has to catch
Yeah,
that.
he has to.
Could you
Rookie
imagine
mistake.
now you got to live your whole career knowing
You
that
just
in
started your
first
whole
game-
rookie season dropping the pass to win the game. That's ridiculous.
Bills, Dolphins.
Oh, my boys. My young boys. Josh Allen. They're going to Oh, yeah. Josh. Yeah, we're going to kill them.
Bills.
That's my AFC team. I'm booking it.
Dolphins.
You're a hater.
I got the Bills. Let me see. Vikings or Colts?
That's a good one. I'm going to take Colts, though. Yeah, I'm going to take the Colts because, they wasn't even supposed to lose yesterday.
I'm also going to take the Colts. They lost Marlon Mack for the year, right? Achilles.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is officially the starting running
He's
back.
dumb nice. Yeah, I'm going
That
Colts.
could be as terrible as it
That could
sounds. It could be good for them.
It is.
I
Yep.
think Jonathan
John Taylor's
Taylor
a
could be a
beast.
cowbell back.
Got the Vikings.
I got the Colts. Washington, Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I wanted to pick Washington this week. I did not know
This
they were
ain't-
playing
this
the
ain't
Cardinals.
Wentz.
I'm
This
taking the
Kyler
Cardinals.
Murray.
I love the Cardinals this year. I think they're
Yeah,
a
me
playoff
too.
team.
This Kyler Murray is different beast.
Cardinals.
I got the Cardinals too. Ravens and Texans.
Is this that's a Monday night game or no?
I don't even know. Actually, no. These are all 4:15 games. I think.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm gonna take Baltimore. I think they're gonna dominate Texans. Honestly,
Baltimore. Okay. How about you, Jack?
I'm also going Baltimore.
Ravens.
I'm going Baltimore. Chiefs versus Chargers.
Doesn't even matter who they
Chiefs,
play.
yeah,
Chiefs.
Going with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
You're gonna jinx it. Look. He's gonna jinx it.
They look so good on Thursday night.
I'm not gonna lie,
So
man.
good.
The Chiefs.
I like the Chargers this year.
They were gonna
I
lose
mean,
to the Bengals if they didn't call that nonsense, bro.
Like, do you like what I was saying before about the Bills? How they were supposed to blow the Jets out. The Chiefs did that to a team in the Texans that is a much better team than the Jets are. Like, the Chiefs looked as good as we thought they should against a much better team. I think the Chiefs are going to be firing on all cylinders again this year.
I want to pick the Chargers, but I'll pick the Chiefs. Patriots versus Seahawks.
oh, Russell.
I'm going Seahawks as much
Yeah,
as it pains
Seahawks.
me.
That's gonna be.
I'm going
I think
with the
that's gonna be a
Patriots.
really good ass game.
I'm going with the Patriots.
Going with the Patriots. That's not bad.
Saints versus Raiders.
Oh God, Drew Brees,
Saints.
Yeah, Saints.
Saints.
the best QB
Okay.
in the league.
This does it for this episode of Pick a Side. Jack, we want to thank you for being on the show.
Of course.
We got the virtual applause.
Thank you for having me. It was a great time. Hopefully, first of many.
Yeah.
If you'll have me back.
Of course,
Of course,
man.
of course. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.